And after you leave a like, remember to smash the subscribe button if you haven't subscribed to my channel as yet. And remember to hit the notification bell so every time I post a video, you can know right away. Subscribe, 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 subscribe.
What's up, my YouTube friends, viewer subscribers, everybody? Welcome back to another banger motivational video. And the topic for today is you are what you think, which means whatever you think of yourself determines how far you will go. And a lot of people always try to, like, they want people to see them in a particular way, but life doesn't work like that because it all depends on how you see yourself. Everything we're doing starts from within. A lot of people, they will go everywhere, oh, I just want everybody to see me like this and think of me like this, but it doesn't work like that, because what you think of yourself determines the decision that you will make, and the decision you make determine the person that you will become, and the person that you will become, people will see it. That's just how it is. So if you spend all your time hoping for people to see in a particular way, doesn't work like that. Like, I've seen it over and over and over and over and over again, where people will sit down and they'll say, oh, I just want this person to believe in me, and I just want the world to believe in me, and I just want everybody to see that I can do it. Doesn't work like that. So what you think of yourself, so first of all, you have to sit down, like I always say, and you have to know who you are, what you can do, your capabilities, your abilities. And then once you understand this, then you can start making decisions. I think a lot of people are confused, like they do different things and they try different things. And don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with try different things, but you have to do exactly what you love and do exactly what you know. Because if you're doing things that you don't like, or because somebody else is doing it, it's a huge waste of time. And like I always say, all the time we waste, we can't get it back. So how you see yourself is how you will present yourself. A lot of people, they want people to respect them, they want to be a certain class of people, but if you don't think of yourself in a particular way, then how you expect people are going to see you in the same way? You know what I mean? So if you can see yourself in a certain way, nobody can see you. Because if you think of yourself in a certain way, then obviously you present yourself in a particular way, and then people will see just how you're presenting yourself, and then they can see exactly what you're trying to portray. So with that being said, is if you walk into a room and nobody cares who you are, that's probably because you also don't know who you are. So you walk in a room, nobody don't care, you don't light up the room, you don't command the room, you walk in, everybody's still talking, man, in their own business. So if you think you're a person, when you walk in, you shine, you light the room up, then by the time you walk inside the room, everybody's going to be looking at you, say, who is this person? So I'm not saying you need to be arrogant, and I'm not saying you need to be self-obsessed, but it all depends on what you think and the things that you do. Because if you think about something long enough, eventually your mind will figure out how to get it done. I've always said it. But make sure it's positive, not negative. So if you sit down and you always brainstorm and you think, oh, I deserve so much more, I think I want to become somebody, the longer you sit down and you think about this, you're going to figure out how to get it done. I'm telling you. So if you sit down and you're like, you know what? I need a job, or I need a car. Eventually, the longer you sit down and you think about it, the more your brain will find a way to get it done. How many times have you have a issue or something and you went to bed and you wake up with a solution? That's because your mind is still working when you're sleeping. So what you think, like, we all, I would say we all think the same, but the difference is we make different decisions based off how we brought up, our responsibilities and all these things. But we all think the same, we just make different decisions. So what you think of yourself. So if you sit down and you think, you know what, I'm a loser, nobody don't care about me, then nobody's gonna care about you. If you notice how you treat yourself, people treat you the exact same way. If you're miserable with yourself or you hate yourself, people are gonna hate you too. That's just how it is. If you're, say, genuine with yourself and you're always happy, you're always in a good mood, if you notice whenever you go around people, they're always excited to see you. And they probably wonder, oh, how are you so happy every day? Like me. So if I go anywhere, people will say, oh, what did you eat this morning? Or what do you eat for dinner? Or what did you drink this morning? Did you drink tea? What's your daily routine? Because they want to know. They think it's the food, but it has nothing to do with what you eat. It has to do with what you think of yourself and how you present yourself forward. I'm not saying you need to sit down and you need to be arrogant and stuck up and have a bunch of attitude. Oh, because if you're like this, then people are going to treat you exactly how you present yourself. So if you present yourself like, say, an a-hole, people are going to be like, oh, who's this person? Blah, 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 blah. You know what I mean? Then there's tension. So all I'm trying to say is, what you think of yourself determines how far you will go. If you sit down and you think, you know what, I want to become somebody, I want to achieve something, I want to do something with myself, first you have to figure out what exactly it is, and then you'll make decisions to get there. It has nothing to do with where you're from, who your family is, who your relative is, if you were what's it called, if you're poor, if you're average, if your family have money. It has nothing to do with this, because guess what? It doesn't matter where we are from. The decisions we make determine who we will become, because you can see poor people or people that comes from a poor family, they end up becoming rich. And then you can see rich people, when they have kids and the kids are spoiled, they end up losing everything. So with that being said, is you don't think something is broken? Something is broken, because how you think and what you think determines who or what you will become. So if you discipline yourself and, you know what, I'll stay committed to whatever it is that I believe in, then how you expect not to achieve it? If that makes sense. And if you're the type to sit down and wait for somebody else to tell you, oh, you got this or you can do it, no, it doesn't work like that. But I understand some people are like that, where they, you know, they need that little push where it's like they sit down and they think they can do it. Then it's like, oh, I need to hear it. But that's where you need to tell yourself. Because people, they will know things, but they won't say it to you. So they will know you're capable of doing something, but they will still tell you that you can't do it. Because if you ask somebody a question where it's like, okay, I want to figure out how to open a bank account, or it could be anything. People look within themselves before they give you a response. That's just how it is through and through. So if you're trying to ask somebody for advice, the best thing you can do is ask somebody that's in the same area of the one that you have chosen for yourself. Because if you're wanting to be a content creator like me, and then you go ask a welder, say, how can I become a content creator? What do you think that guy's gonna tell you? Oh, don't waste your time on the internet trying to become somebody. You know, go get a, what's it called? Go get a course and go take out a trade and all these things. Because people think in different ways, I guess. And then if they can't see themselves doing it, then they're gonna tell you that you can't do it. That's just how it is. So what you think is very much important. That's why the topic is, you are what you think. So if you are from a average family, like, our minds are different. So if you're from an average family and you think in a particular way, why you think in a particular way? Because you're different. So if you're going to school or work, and then you notice that you can feel within yourself that, you know, you're a lot larger than all these people, but you can, for some reason you can't say it out loud because you're going to seem overrated. So if you're anywhere at all and you're talking with friends or family or anybody, and you can sit down and you can feel like the gap, why do you think that is? That's because you see yourself in a particular way, and then you're sitting down there thinking, man, I could be doing so much more. But what is it? That's what you need to figure out. Because a lot of people, they sit down and they think all these things, but they never really do anything about it. And that's what creates, I would say, depression, because you have to shrink yourself in order to be like everybody else. For an example, if you are, say, unemployed, and or say you're going to school and all your friends going to school, so everybody's okay as long as everybody's doing the same thing, they're okay. What if you're like, okay, all my friends doesn't want to go to school anymore? How are you gonna think? You're gonna be like, wait, am I doing something wrong, or am I doing something right? So the thing is, for most people, if everybody is doing the same thing, then it's okay. This is why a lot of people are down than they are above, because the more people that's below, then it's like, okay, if everybody is sitting down all day doing nothing, then I'm okay sitting all day doing nothing, because they're comfortable. So if you're drowning and you look across and you see somebody else is drowning, you're okay. But if you're drowning and you look around and you don't see nobody else drowning, then you're gonna have anxiety, if that makes sense. Because anxiety is what is to come. So you're gonna be like, oh, it's only me and blah blah blah. How many times have you go to what's it called, school or work, or you had an interview and you went there and you're early, or even a party and you're early and you don't see nobody, then you're getting anxiety. You're like, wait, did it flop, or did they change the day, or that's anxiety of what is to come. But the thing is, with a lot of people, they entrap themselves because it all starts from the mind. So they will sit down and they will say to themselves, okay, I want something larger, but as long as everybody else is doing nothing, then I'm okay. But it doesn't work like that, because what you think will always show that you're different. Because if you're sitting down and you're with certain class of people, you're gonna think, wait, all these people are losers. That's what they think. So they will sit down and they will think, why should I go work, and why should I go try to chase my dreams, and why should I go become somebody when it's easier for me to sit at home or sit here and do nothing. And then you're gonna have 4 or 5 or even 10 people doing the exact same thing. So with you, if you get up and you're like, you know what, I want to go become somebody, what you think all those people are gonna say? Oh, why you want to go become somebody, we're all here. And they will sit down and they will look at you and they will wait for you to fail, hoping you will come back just so they could say, I told you so. So if you think in a particular way, then you need to understand why. Because like I said, we have similar thinking, both men and women, but not identical, but same thinking. The difference is we make different decisions. That's the only difference. Because you can ask 2 person, whether a guy or a girl, the same question, and 9 times out of 10 you'll get the same answer or similar answer. If you ask 10 people the same thing, then 8 of them will be like, oh, this, because of how they think. So with that being said, is if you notice that you are, like, say, I would say, trapped somewhere, it all starts from upstairs. If you can't control your own way of thinking, you can't control where you're going. And if you don't think in a particular way, then you can't get certain things done. You are what you think, not what everybody else think. A lot of people, they waste their time waiting for everybody else to tell them, oh, I think you're very creative, I think you're talented. No. You should know this from within, because if you think of yourself in a particular way, then like I said, you present yourself, then obviously people can see it. Because if you think that you can sing, or you think that you can draw, or anything, and you're like, you know what, I think I can do this, and you're starting to do it, everybody's gonna watch. They're gonna watch, because guess what, they don't know if you know that you can do it. But once you do it and you show them, then they'll be convinced. So the thing is, once you think of yourself in a particular way to the point where you can convince yourself that you are what you think you are, it's easy to convince everybody else. This is why it's easy for, I would say, an average person with a great mindset can convince other people that they are from money, because of what they think. So if you sit down and you're like, you know what, I want to become a business person, and I want to do this and I want to do this, and then you start carrying yourself with a certain attitude, people that don't know you, they probably sit down and be like, that guy got some money, even though you don't got no money. You see how easy it is to convince people? Bro, like, trust me, it is way easier to convince people than what we really think. So if you think of yourself in a particular way, like I say, and you're not wasting time, you're not doing nonsense, you're locking on your purpose, trying to aim for higher heights, people can see you. Everybody can see you, because people know when you're doing something productive, like when you're growing and you're changing and you're evolving. People, they sit down and they can know, because they can smell it. They're not idiots. Some may say it, some may not say it, but everybody can see you. Especially if you disappear for quite some time and you're like, okay, I want to disappear and get my mind right and get my money right and get my body right. I just want to disappear and get everything right. By the time you bounce back, everybody can see you. So if you sit down and you waste your time hoping somebody else will tell you that you can actually achieve something, it depends on if that person is willing to tell you. Okay, what if we had to wait for somebody else to tell us what we could do? You think a lot of people would be successful? No. Because people can know when you have the ability to get something done, but it's within them if they want to say it. Because people always want you to be the best you can, but once you started to do a little bit better than what they anticipated, and that's where that little tension and jealousy and enviness comes in. Because nobody wants you to be better than them. So the thing is, if you think, well, not say if you think you're better than everybody else, but if you think you want to become the best version of yourself day by day, day by day, day by day, then you can actually achieve it if you pick the right thing. So if you sit down and you think, oh, I'm a loser, I'm homeless, I'm this and this and that, bro, trust me, you will lose every single time. Because people that are from rich family, they're not happy. And why are they not happy? Because rich people think everything is all about money, and poor people think everything is about getting money. But at the end of the day, why are they making the same mistake? So the rich, their kids are going to lose everything, and the poor doesn't come from anything, and then the poor is going to end up becoming rich. So why is it a cycle? It all depends on how you see yourself, which means you are what you think. So if you think of yourself in a particular way and you strongly believe it, then you will present yourself in a particular way. So instead of sitting down waiting for everybody else to come and say to you, oh, you can do it, it's okay, you got, maybe only your parents will say that to you, because only your parents want you to be better than them. But friends, no, I don't think so. It's very rare when you have like a real friend that can say, you know what, you need to smarten up. What you're doing is complete nonsense. It's very rare because some friends, they will convince you to stay where you are and not grow and not evolve and not take risk and not trying to become somebody, not trying to make some money, especially if your friends are, say, losers, then they will try to convince you to be exactly like them. You know, once you start to want to become a little bit more, then all those people will fall off. That's just how it is, through and through. There's no escape for growth. And that's the only thing we can control is ourselves. A lot of people, they try to convince everybody else and they're trying to tell them, oh, let all of us trying to become this, but everybody can't become the same thing. Because it doesn't matter how much people you know, everybody will always pick whatever it is that they truly want to do. That's just how it is. Because we all think different. Well, we all think the same, but we make different decisions. So if a person think a particular way, if you guys don't think the exact same way, then you can't work together. This is why rich people only hang out with rich people, poor people only hang out with poor people, and the average only hang out with the average. Because they all think similar. So rich people, they may sit down for hours talking about how can we make some more money. The average will sit down and say, you know what? How can we become rich? And the poor people probably sit down and be like, you know what? Let's go hit that club up over there. Let's go to that party over there. Oh, I don't have no money. Oh, let's figure out how we can get some money and go spend it and not invest it. That's just how it is. This is why people only hang out with those who are the same as them, because they think the same. So however it is that you think, you will always come across people that think the same way. If you, like when we're going to school, if you notice, if you pick a particular trade, like say cooking, welding, or sewing, if you notice everybody that's in that class, they're doing the same subject because that's what they picked, the same thing as you. So if you never pick mechanic or welding or industrial technique or IT, you won't come across nobody that's in that class, because you didn't pick that, if that makes sense. Because you don't think of yourself in that way. So if you're like, you know what, I love cooking, let me go learn how to cook and become a professional chef. Those other people that think, oh, I need to learn welding, you guys are not going to end up in the same class because you guys think different, if that makes sense, because we want different things. So you are what you think. It doesn't matter where you are in life. If you strongly believe that you are something and you strongly believe that you can achieve something, keep working. You'll eventually figure out how to do it. A lot of people, when they're thinking about things and they're trying to get that breakthrough, they always stop because they're like, oh, it's too frustrating, it's too hard, I just want to sit at home and do nothing. It's easier if I do nothing. If I try to become something, then I have to put effort in. That's how life is. Anything that you want to become, it takes effort. The only time something is effortless is unless it's been handed over to you, but somebody else had to put the effort in order to get it. That's how it is. So if you sit down and you're like, you know what, I think I can actually achieve this, or I think I could save this much money and buy something, or buy a car, or I think I can buy a house, the longer you think about it, the more you will find a way to get it done. How you think people are buying property? How you think people have businesses? How you think people are millionaires and billionaires? Because they sit down and they figure out how to do it. And then eventually they pick something and then obviously start making some money. That's just how life is. It's all about how you think of yourself. So you're what you think. You're not what everybody else think, because people, if you think you're a certain way, people may sit down and they may think, oh, you're overrated, you think you're better than everybody else. That's their own thoughts that's affecting them, and because it's affecting them, they're trying to affect you. So while you're there trying to be the best version of yourself, everybody else think you're trying to be better than them, but it's not about being better than them, it's about being your best self. And then when you're trying to do something, or you're trying to achieve something, you got everybody, oh, why do you think you can do this? No. If you think you can, you need to tune out all the nonsense. Because the nonsense are all distraction. There's distraction everywhere. The best way to work is in silence, because you can think more clearly. You are what you think you are. So whether it is that you're winning, or you're losing, or you're trapped, or you got some money, or you ain't got no money, or you can't get anything done, you can't achieve anything, you're just an average person, you're not living no life, you're not doing anything, it's all depend on what you think. You are whatever you think. It doesn't matter what everybody else thinks. It matters what you think. So if you're sitting down waiting for everybody else to tell you, oh, I think you are amazing. Are you though? Like, if you sit down, and you ever notice when you sit down and you're like, you know what, I can do something and I'm amazing. For an example, if you're a very beautiful girl, you ever notice it's very rare another woman will say that you're beautiful or she admires you. Well, guys on the other hand will probably be like, hey beautiful, hey gorgeous, blah blah blah. But it's very rare another woman is gonna say it out loud. And the same thing for guys. If you have a great physique, it's very rare you'll see another guy trying to say, oh, what is your gym routine? Very rare. What they will do, they will sit down and they will watch you, because they don't want you to know that they admire you. They secretly admire you, and because they don't want you to know, they sit down and they watch you. You are whatever you think. Sometimes people can see things within us, but they won't say it. So if you don't think you can get something done, and you're waiting for somebody else to come and tell you, they probably know already that you can probably do it, but they're not going to tell you because they don't want to lose you. Because I've seen it over and over and over and over and over again. You will sit down and you will try to convince everybody that you want to do something, but once you actually started, that's when all the negativity comes in. You are whatever you think you are. It doesn't matter who your family is and who your friends are. No. Everybody live their own individual life. Everybody. So if your friends are rich or your friends are poor, it doesn't determine who you are, because they can't think for you. So if your friends are average and you may sit down and you may say, you know what, I think I can become somebody that have some money. I have a plan. And most times, what some people will do is, especially me, I did the same thing too. So when we have a plan and we have a bunch of friends, we try to tell all our friends our plan just to bring up everybody. But sometimes it doesn't work like that, because the same people who you're trying to uplift, they're the same one who are trying to keep you down. I remember, who was it? That guy that made Facebook. You know, one time I was literally reading his what's it called? I saw a thing, not like an article. It was like was it a meme? Like a short story, and it was saying when he was in college, was it Harvard or one of those colleges he was in, and he had the idea of creating Facebook, and he called like say 10 people, and only two showed up out of everybody that he called, and out of the two that show up, those guys are multi-billionaires now. And all the ones that didn't show up are still working a regular job today as we speak. So with that being said, is, if everybody that he called, if they went there, they will all be billionaires right now. And they will all have different branches. But the thing is, sometimes we have dreams that's a lot bigger than ourselves, or we think that we can actually achieve it. Well, we can achieve it if we think about it, but sometimes some people, they will sit down and they will think, oh wow, that's a very big dream, that's hard to reach. Personally, I don't think no dream is hard to reach once you are doing everything you can to get there. Because I remember when I first started making videos, and I used to tell people, I'm like, bro, I want to become a content creator, I love it. And some people will sit down, they will think, oh, why do you think you can do it? I'm like, what do you mean, why I think I can do it? Why do you think you can sit down and be a nobody? That's just how it is. So with that being said, is how you think, or what you think you are. It's not about what everybody else thinks. And it's not about, if you see somebody else doing something and you think you can do it too, it's not about that. Because what you're doing there is, you see somebody else doing something and you're trying to do the same thing what they're doing because it's working for them, and you probably think, oh, if it's working for them, then maybe it will work for me. No, it doesn't work like that unless you are fit for that role. If you're not fit for it, then how are you going to get it done? If you're doing something because everybody else is doing it, no, it won't work, because you're not them. And I think that's what creates a lot of problems in today, and I think that's why a lot of people are getting nowhere, because they spend so much time trying to do what everybody else is doing, and then it's like, oh, how it worked for you but it don't work for me. Especially like content creating, like I say, I've always seen, like back in the day when I first started, I always see people trying to make videos and they always trying to do this and they always trying to do that. Now when I look back, those guys are doing something else, and I'm like, wait. So when I say I wanted to become a content creator, you said that it was impossible, and I made it possible. Now you're trying to do the exact same thing what I'm doing, didn't work for you, and now you're doing something else. But that's just how life is. It's like when you tell people things, some things we tell people, it's like for them, it's larger than what they anticipated. It's like telling a homeless person that you want to become a millionaire, and they will sit down and think, well, where are you working? What do you do for a living? Oh, I'm working a regular job, minimum wage. They will say, oh, you can't become a millionaire by working a minimum wage job. But what you can do, but they don't know, but this is coming from me, you can work a regular job, and on your days off, you work on yourself to create something for yourself to invest in, because life is about investing. It doesn't matter what you do. So if you're working a regular job and you're like, you know what, I want to become something on the side, I will do something, whether it's like going to school or whatever it is. But a homeless guy doesn't know this because he's homeless. So he's going to think, oh, if you're not getting a million, no, not a million. If you're not getting, say, 200 grand a year, then you can't become a millionaire. If you're not making, say, 500 grand a year, then you can't become a millionaire. Bro, bro, you'd be surprised of the things that you could do. It's like working a regular job, and then whether you want to do content creating or modeling or public figure, or you want to go to school to become something. This is how people go to school and work at the same time, because they what's it called, and it's also vice versa, because some people, they go to school 5 days a week and they will work, say, 2 or 3 days a week. And it's the same thing. You can work 5 day a week full time, and then you can go to school part time to become something larger than what you are today. So it all depends on what you think. You are whatever you think. And it's sort of depending on the people that you're talking to. Like, if some people are not mentally there, they can't give you the answer that you're looking for. So at the end of the day, you are what you think. What you're saying, if people don't understand you, then it's obvious you're talking to the wrong crowd. That's just how life is. So my advice to you, whatever you think you are, find moves to become the better version of yourself every single day. That's what growth is. So there you guys have it. Thank you very much for watching. Remember to like, comment, subscribe. Stay tuned. I will be back doing more things to go enjoy the rest of your day. I'm out. And don't forget to follow me on social media. I post daily on them.